Yo, share it with your mom and them. You know what I mean? Share it with your young homeboy who out here in the street bad. He need to hear this. You know what I mean? Share it with people around you. You feel me? If you on YouTube, please like the page. Like the Melanated Fathers TV YouTube page. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You feel me? Now, on to the topic for the day. Excuse me. Sorry for all the burping, y'all. I've been drinking a little energy drink. Having me burping like a motherfucker. All right. So, on to the topic for the day, right? In our community, we understand how some of us, if you're a man like me, just all my brothers out there, and you found yourself in a situation where you got baby mamas, right? A woman that you're not in a relationship with, but you have a kid with. That is the term that we use. But hear me out, family. So what the point of the show today is baby mama prevention show, right? So we ask ourselves, how do we prevent getting in a situation where we have a kid with a woman and we're not in a relationship with the woman? Now we got to do visitations. Now we not on that good of terms with the woman. We got to have these two households. Child support got to be brought into the situation. All these traumatic events, all this repeating of the cycle, if you will, right? Now we got to keep in mind, all my brothers out there don't conduct themselves that way. Like, I'm speaking from my experiences and what I see in my community, and you know what I mean? I talk a lot from my perspective and what I've seen and how I want to help. But we got to keep it real. We got brothers out there who got one woman, had a kid with that woman, about to have another kid with that woman, starting their little family. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You see what I'm saying? If you're in the same house with your kids, this show may not be for you per se. If you're in the same house with your kids, same woman, you guys are building, having children together, this is just the normal cycle in America. There's nothing wrong with that in my opinion. But here's the problem, family. For young dudes who don't have kids yet, or for a brother who got a baby mama out there, you already got one kid in the street. You had one kid with this woman, whether you taking care of the kid or not, we need to evaluate, at that point, we need to closely evaluate what's going on. You see what I'm saying? To make sure we don't put ourselves in that situation. Because in our community, when I look at young black men who got a kid over there, a kid over there, a kid over there, you know why he got kids in all these different places? Because after having the first one, he didn't do the knowledge on what he actually doing wrong. He didn't change his view on how he want to raise his family. He didn't change his view on what it is to be a man, a black man in society. What is it to be a family man? You see what I'm saying? Some of us need to slow the fuck down and realize the importance of setting up a structured environment. Now, I know brothers who got kids over there, and they still good dudes. They still participate in the kids' lives. They still pay whatever they gotta pay. This is true, but you're making it hella harder on yourself, family. Let's try to do this shit the road less travel. All of us who've been through shit, all of us who've been through having kids with several women, and we need to be able to look back at the younger dudes and give them good game on why they shouldn't do that shit. Let's be honest. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care about none of that. If you got kids in several different households in your same city, different cities, that's a dysfunctional family. Let's keep it real. That's a dysfunctional family. Just unfortunately, we've normalized some of this behavior in our community, and we can start undoing this shit. You see what I'm saying? Even the term baby mama, I don't like none of that shit, man. And yeah, people in other communities go through some of the same shit, but I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about us and how we deal with shit when we got kids over there and over there. Now we just repeating the cycle. Because if you ask your child if they prefer to be in a household with you and the mom or going from dad house to mom house, what do you think they're going to prefer? You see what I'm saying? But as men, we need to be clear on the fact that we control these situations, family. If you know a young dude who don't got kids yet, your little brother, your son, your cousin, your nephew, whoever he is, he needs to learn the proficiency of protecting your seed. Like every woman you have sex with, you need to look at her as a potential mother of your kids. Right? So I'm not telling young dudes to be sterile and wait till you get married I'm not telling you none of that unrealistic shit, but it ain't really what you do, family, it's how you do it. So how we protect ourselves as men, like your young cousin, your young son should know how to put on a condom at 12, 13 years old. Like, this is real shit. He needs to learn the importance of protecting your seed, waiting to have kids. You feel me? Waiting to have kids till you're older in life. Waiting to have kids until you're established on your own. Like, we need to begin making that shit cool. You shouldn't be 18, 19 years old, not going to school, trying to find a job, having a goddamn baby. You shouldn't be a hella unsettled human being bringing a kid into the world. We normalize this shit, and this shit is not normal. You feel me? We normalize the shit, and the shit is not normal. And this is how dudes in our community end up with hella baby mamas, because they not taking inventory after that first kid, after that second kid. That's how I end up with 5 kids. Let's keep it real. I'm not stopping and saying, okay, I've already had this one child by a woman that I don't plan on being in a relationship with. We ain't really together like that at all. How can I prevent this from happening again? Or what is wrong with this situation currently? Because sometimes we do this kind of shit and don't see anything wrong with it. Here's the bigger problem. We don't see anything wrong with it. We're looking at the small amount of dysfunction. Like, she living with her mom, I'm living with my mom, or I'm living with somebody, and the grandma's gotta come. Grandmas shouldn't act as like surrogate mothers. Black folks need to be clear on that shit. Your grandma should live somewhere else, and you should go visit your grandma with your kids and drop the kid off at the grandma house for a little bit, let them stay there and come pick them up and leave. You shouldn't be living with your damn grandma. We put so much on black women in our community. You have a baby with a girl, or y'all do what y'all do and y'all shit don't work out, or y'all didn't put stock in how to do shit the right way. Now your po mama is stuck taking care of your goddamn kid, and she 50 or 60 years old trying to live her damn life, but now she got to take care of your kid because she's the only form of stability that these kids got, or that you got even. You see what I'm saying? Creating another cycle of fuck shit, creating another cycle of fatherlessness, another cycle of welfare needing, another cycle of all this shit that don't mean our community no good, man. So yeah, we got problems outside of the community, right? There's racism, of course. There's these systematic things that are in place that make it difficult for us to do particular things. Like, this is all true, but sometimes we participate in our destruction. See, that's why I'm such a big proponent of history. I think, and like I teach on my website, melanatedfathers.com, being reconstructed right now, I think young dudes need to learn about history. Learn about your family's history. Learn about the history of black folks in this country. Like, do whatever you need to do to create like a sense of pride in who you are. Like a sense of pride in your lineage, right? We've been told that we not shit for so long. We've been operating under this like stolen slave ideology. Think about that, y'all. We gotta unpack and unlearn a lot of the fuck shit that we've been through, man. Having these weird ass last names, having these slave older ass last names, not having a home country to go to, not having lineage of structured family. A lot of us not having grandpas and grandmas that was there for, this is not all of us, but a lot of us come from traumatic ass upbringings, come from traumatic ass lineage in our family. Motherfuckers getting molested, motherfuckers on dope, like the war on drugs, all of these things that have taken place in society that have negatively affected black folks. We're still dealing with it, family. Now, you don't need to learn this and use it as an excuse on say, okay, this is what I've been through, this is why I ain't shit, this is why I ain't gonna be shit. We're not gonna go there, but we're gonna use it to spearhead your knowledge seeking. You feel me? We're gonna use it to spearhead moving forward in the right direction, because I can talk all day about white supremacy and racism and all this shit, but if the niggas in the hood ain't working to better themselves, if they not working to get out of that situation, if they don't do good, none of us is doing good. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm not judging black society by the Jay-Z's and the Beyoncés, which that's a small percentage of our society. When we look at the 40 million some black people in America, the wealthy, the privileged, very small percentage. The majority of us is struggling. That's the real shit. The majority of the people in our community is struggling. You feel me? So until the niggas in the hood, until the people in the hood come out of their situation, until they begin to realize that there's more out there, until they begin to realize, okay, I want to structure my family differently, we all gonna be fucked up, family. That's how I see it. Like, we need all of us in this fight if we're gonna better our standing in America and just find a way to come together. You know what I mean? So look, the if you have a young dude in your life preventing baby mama, the first step, he needs to know who he is. You need to give him a crash course on knowing who he is. Knowing who he is, knowing where he come from, get a clear understanding of who he is, what we've been through in this country as melanated people. That'll begin the framework for him to understand that my seed is important. Learn how to put a condom on. You can be out there in the streets moving however you want to move, but protect your seed, family. We don't need more kids having kids in our community. And that just creates or prolongs the actual cycle. If you're a young person in the black community and you 17 or 18 years old and you have a kid with somebody else that's 17 or 18 years old, you guys don't have money, you guys don't have a college education. Do you know the likelihood of the success of that union? Like, do you know the likelihood of you coming out of that and being a success? It's harder. Why make shit harder? You know what I mean? We have a problem in our community with just piling on, making shit difficult, making shit harder, just piling on ourselves when it comes to who we choose to mate with, when it comes to how we choose to live our life, when it comes to the shit we choose to fall into, because we need to realize the systematic racism that we deal with, these are traps that are meant to fuck you up to a degree. How are you maneuvering through these traps? That's what it's all about. Not to complain about what you see, but to see it, learn it, and know how to maneuver around it. That's the game. You see what I'm saying? So if those of us who are getting up in age, we need to keep it real with the young people, man. If we are, because I don't want my young kids and my grandkids and my nieces and nephews, I don't want them to be in this same America 20 years from now, dealing with the same fuck shit in our community, dealing with the same fuck shit from all these politicians. Man, it's going to come a time where all of us got to participate. And me, I chose to use this method to help out based on my history and based on my knowledge, understanding that if I'm going to reach my people, if I'm going to be an advocate for change and an advocate for empowerment, I want to use what I know the most. And what I know the most is fatherhood. The lens that I choose to speak out of is fatherhood, because I understand the importance of our presence in our young kids' life. Like I always say, if we look at these young kids that's killing each other, like our young men is knocking each other off, y'all. How many of these young kids got fathers in their life? Let's be real. How many of these young kids come from two-parent homes? I bet if we were to survey most of the young men that are in the gangs in our city today, most of them didn't come from two-parent homes. It's a rarity to find a young kid in a stable two-parent home that chooses to live a particular lifestyle. It happens, but that shit is rare. So what does that mean? We have the ability to change some of this shit. Without no politician coming in the hood and helping, without no vote, we got the ability to change some of this shit. Because sometimes we get into cliches and we get into all this shit where you posting biting on your page and you arguing with motherfuckers about politics and you claiming who you gonna vote for and all this, but your son's nose is running all the goddamn time. You don't ever read to your son. You don't ever put stock into what his future may be. That's a revolutionary act, family. Not going behind a goddamn ballot and voting for some white man who ain't never helped us really. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, what do we put our faith in when it comes to seeing change in this country, seeing change in our community? The first people we need to put our faith in is us. You feel me? So when it comes to preventing baby mama drama, when it comes to preventing unstable situation with a woman you may have gotten or had a kid with, that shit's on you, family. You control how that shit's gonna turn out. You control. You put your seed in there. You control that. So fathers, let's start taking more control. Talk to the young dudes around you. Let's start taking more control. Let's look at black people as a whole. Like I'm looking at all y'all like my family. I don't want a young dude to just go around planting his seed everywhere. Then he has a little baby who may not know him or may not have a father. Now this is another young person we're going to have to worry about in these streets. This is a little 16, 17-year-old who going to be out here shooting at everybody. You see what I'm saying? So if we start caring about each other from the jump, we can prevent a lot of the destruction that we see in our community. You feel me? So this has been another episode, man, of the Melanated Convo podcast. I want to thank everybody for tuning in like you always do. Everybody who hit me in my DMs, everybody who liked the videos, everybody who shared the videos. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Like I said, if you watch it on YouTube, please like the video, share the video. Subscribe to the Melanated Fathers TV YouTube page if you're watching me on Facebook. Share this video with your friends. Share this video with a young dude you know who may have a kid on the way or may have a kid right now. He needs to understand the importance to stop right there. You know what I mean? If you got one kid now, he got a little drama. He not really able to see his kid the way he want to. He going through all this turmoil based on the fact that he wasn't prepared and the woman wasn't prepared. The worst thing he can do is have another goddamn kid. You know what I mean? How he can make that worse is by impregnating somebody else or even that same girl. You see what I'm saying? So it's never too late. Stop. Plant your feet where you are. Begin looking around and be thinking about ways that you can be of service in your community, but thinking about ways that you can be of service in your family. Like the first thing you can do before you go out into your community and be a community activist or help people in the struggle or do all that shit, first thing you got to do is help your family. You know what I mean? First thing you got to do is make sure your family's straight. And a part of that is protecting your seed, man. Making sure you have the money. You got to think long term. You want to take your kid on vacations, right? When you was a kid, were you able to go to Disneyland? Were you able to travel to fucking Hawaii? Were you able to go to all these places around the country and travel with your family? If you were, you know the benefits of doing that. If not, that should be your goal. So the goal is, okay, can I afford to put this kid in private school if I want to? Can I afford to travel around the world with this kid? Can I afford to give this kid everything I never had if I need to, if the kid comes? If the answer is no, then why the fuck are you having a baby? You know what I mean? We need to be practical about reproducing. In this society, sometimes it puts you in a situation where everybody should reproduce. You should just be having kids. You in a relationship, y'all happy, it's time for a baby. Maybe not. Maybe you wasn't made to have a kid. Maybe you don't feel, maybe you're a woman who don't feel that maternal need to have don't put a person in society now all of us is going to have to deal with. You know what I mean? So let's think. The whole point, family, is let's think before we make some of these moves. You feel me? So this has been another episode, man, of the Melanated Convo podcast. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. I'm out.